Take everything you've known about the real estate industry this year and throw it out the window. The roller coaster has just begun. Everything has changed, and if you're going to want to know how this will affect you as a buyer and seller, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. Over the last month, we saw a drastic shift in the real estate market. Oh, how did I get here? Whoa, where am I? I first noticed a shift back in March when we were coming out of the crazy hot months of February, where we saw home prices jump around 20% from November 2021. Let's get into the latest real estate numbers from the Brantford Real Estate Market for May 2022, so we can help paint you a picture of exactly what's coming down the line. In May, we saw 209 home sales across the entire month. Now, this was down 28% from April 2022, and it was down 35% from the same time last year. The number of homes still left on the market at the end of the month was sitting at 435. This puts us at about 2 months worth of inventory that is still left on the market. Now, this is a 30% increase from the number of homes that were left available at the end of April. The average sale price of a home here in Brantford was sitting at $870,080. This was down 6% from last month's average price, but overall we are still 17% higher than we were in May 2021. What I noticed over the month of May was that things were returning back to a normal market. They were returning back to what was the prices were like in November and December, which evidently, if you look at the numbers, this month's sales price is up 6% over December 2021, which is what they were at the end of last year before all this craziness started. It took an average of 12 days to sell a house here in Brantford. Now, this is up from 5 or 6, which is what we were seeing earlier in the year, and sometimes it was even 1 or 2, but now I expect that number to at least double, and I expect that we're going to return back to normal market condition levels, where we're going to be seeing homes take anywhere between 21 to 60 days to sell. If it is a truly great home and stands out above the crowd, it still might sell quickly and might sell in multiple offers, but those days are gone, and now we can expect to return back to a normal market level. The Bank of Canada did raise the interest rates by another 0.5 percentage point in the beginning of June. Now, they also just announced that they're planning to do another rate hike in July, probably around July 13th, and to increase the rates at least one more time. There's a couple more times throughout the years that they're expected to raise the rates, so this doesn't come as a surprise to anyone. They're doing this to try to tame the inflation, which is at 6.8%. Down, boy. This doesn't worry me too much because we are just returning back to a pre-pandemic level of interest rates, and this means that the era of free money is over. But if you look at it over a decade worth of interest rates, we are still at historically low levels. You may be wondering what's going to happen over the next couple of months. Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but here is what I see happening. I expect the market to continue to cool off, and that there'll still be a correction in price back to the way it was back at the end of the year in December. There were a lot of homes that came on the market in May from sellers who just wanted to cash in on the craziness. They didn't have any real motivation to sell. They were thinking that, hey, if I can get $100,000, $200,000 over the price that I paid a year or two ago, then I'll sell it. But they didn't really need to sell, but they said, hey, if I can get this, I'll sell it today. Well, what I expect is that those unmotivated sellers are going to come down off the market when they don't get the price that they want. And then once the inventory levels go back down, we're going to return back to the same market that we saw in December. What does this mean for buyers? Well, if you've been sitting on the fence waiting for the market to cool off, now is the time to reach out to your mortgage agent, secure your rate so that you take advantage of today's rates and don't get affected by the other rate hike, and you jump into the market. We are actually seeing less competition. Even if there's any competition at all, we're returning back to seeing conditional offers, whether it's conditional on financing, inspection. I've even seen some offers come in with the sale of the buyer's property. So we are returning back to a normal level. This is the time you've been waiting for. So get off the fence and get into the home of your dreams as soon as you can before the market picks back up and things get crazy again. What this means for sellers, it means if you don't need to sell your house, don't sell your house. Don't try to take the time and test the market. But if you are at the end of your mortgage term or you need to move, it is still a good time to sell. You're just going to need to do and take every step possible to make sure that your house is prepared to go to the market and to compete amongst the other homes. You're going to need to make sure that your home stands out amongst the crowd. You're going to want to make sure that your agent has a proper digital marketing strategy that gets your homes exposed to the masses and not just a few. You don't want your home to be shown just to your realtors and moms and your friends. They need to have a clear plan and a clear strategy to get your home exposed online, because that's where 93% of all home buying searches start. So what you're going to make sure that you're going to need to do is to forget about the way the market was in February. That market is gone. We are now in a fully changed and shifted market. You're going to have to be ready for less showings, less offers, if any at all, and you have to be willing to negotiate and willing to accept conditions. We're returning back to a normal market, so you're going to have to find an agent that you know and trust, and you know that has your best interests at heart. Best results, you should just call me. I know you want to. Be sure to communicate with your agent and tell them about your plan so that they can help you come up with a unique strategy that applies to your house. Now, despite what many realtors might say, now is not necessarily the best time to sell if you don't need to, and it's definitely not time to test the market. When putting your house up for sale, you're going to need to use every tool in the tool shed and make sure you hit the ground running and make sure that your home stands out above the crowd. If you like this video, then you're going to want to watch this video right here where I show you exactly what you can get for $900,000 here in Brantford. So I'll see you in the next video.